All right, so this is a very, very exciting feature which takes one step beyond instant recovery. Oracle ASM Switch and Rebalance. Essentially, the problem that we are trying to solve with this feature is this. If you think about large databases, we have customers with 107 terabyte Oracle database. One reason why they picked us is because of the incremental forever capability, data capture capability. And now, so the full backups is a problem. People, especially who have large NAS filers, large databases, large file systems. And the second aspect is the recovery, right? So the recovery is always slow because you have to completely restore that entire data from a deduplicated image and then bring up the database online before somebody can even do anything with this, with the data set. And the third aspect is, after you do a recovery somewhere, how do you get it back onto the production storage? So there is a downtime even there. So here is the solution that we came up with, right? So again, it's the same thing, incremental forever data capture with this Oracle database. We store the data in what we call as a snapshot pool. It can be any storage behind Actifio. So that's our logical terminology where we are keeping the data. And then what user can do is, when they want to recover, they invoke a switch in the user interface. And that switch, what it does is, and let's say that the production storage had a problem or has to go through some maintenance. So what the user is doing is, goes to the user interface and does a switch to Actifio. And what Actifio has done is, does an instant mount of that multi-terabyte database sets back to that server. And so that now the database is up and running. People are making transactions of that. This could be any flash storage or whatever storage behind Actifio, right? So the database is actually production online of the Actifio storage now, the storage behind Actifio. Transactions are happening. Now, let's say that the maintenance window is over and now the customer wants to go back to the production storage. That's where the rebalance happens. So in the user interface, when they click rebalance, what's going to happen is, in the background, the blocks are going to go from Actifio, storage behind Actifio, to the production storage. This is very similar, and without the database having to go down. So it's essentially a zero downtime restore after the recovery back to the production, right? So this is very similar to like the storage vMotion for Oracle.
Let's see what this looks like.
And since I'm a storage guy, and storage guys and Oracle DBAs are natural enemies.
Just give them more spindles.
I know.
Their own spindles.
I need 140 spindles. I'll give you 2 SSDs, but I need 140 spindles.
All right, so we have an Oracle database here, Oracle Rack, right? And the big part of this ASM management feature is that we can, again, back to the scale concept I mentioned earlier. Customers have 8-node Oracle Rack clusters with 100 terabyte databases on them. I can do incremental forever backups. I can do recovery in short order. Those things take days, right, with other architectures, literally, on those large data sets like that. And what we have here is an Oracle database with logs as well. We're managing the RMAN, application consistent view of the database. We're also managing logs from the database, and we can roll them forward, as you'll see. I simply pick the image I want. Doesn't have to be the most recent image. It can be any image here. Back to that thread we were just talking about. We're not reassembling, we're not replaying transactions, other than the logs we are. But from the block level, we're not replaying those. As at the time of access, each image is a discrete set of blocks with pointers, so they can all be spun up in short order. And so I'll come in here and I can click on Restore. And I'm not going to go through it because we are running close to the end here with time-wise, but I'll show you what it looks like. We can do this ASM Switch feature. And as Chandra mentioned, it's a 2-stage process. We bring up the database, and then we're able to move the blocks while it's running from one storage to another. It's a lot like a storage vMotion for a VMware virtual machine. We're doing that for a running Oracle database in native ASM format. And so if I want to roll logs forward, I can. I'll move the slider. I'm going to run this, I give it a new name for my disk group, or what are you going to call this disk group, this ASM format that we already have been maintaining. I'm going to run a pre-flight check, which, again, the database has not been dropped, so it's going to tell me there's a problem. Hang on, I can't recover PRDDB. PRDDB is still running, right? So there's a lot of intelligence and, measure twice, cut once built into this. But we'll put a video up online, and we can obviously send out links to it of what this demo looks like in the interest of time. But we can bring up the database. It takes about 7 minutes to bring it up. While it's running, we then we add new disk and remove the Actifio disk. And so it's running off Actifio. 7 minutes after you have an outage, and then in the background it moves, and now it's back into production, and then now it's a proper, Howard, back to your point, it's a proper recovery, restore back to its original location, without Actifio being involved in it. But the point is, we let you recover then move, instead of the traditional approach is move then recover. So it can really shave a lot of time off of these downtime scenarios.